Good afternoon. The cost of everything has gone up under the UCP. Income taxes, property taxes, tuition, camping fees, park fees, car insurance, and utilities. These are all a direct result of UCP policies, and right now the soaring cost of utilities is making it increasingly difficult for Albertans to make ends meet. We've heard from Albertans whose utility bills have gone up by hundreds of dollars. And with all the other costs the UCP piled on, Albertans are struggling to pay their bills. Many report to us that they owe thousands in outstanding payments to utility companies. Over the winter, Albertans have been spared from having their utilities disconnected due to legislation that prevents this from happening between October 15th and April 15th. However, April 15th is coming quickly. It's 1 month away today, and I know many Albertans are looking towards that date with fear after the UCP have failed to provide any real relief from utility costs. The UCP natural gas rebate turned out to be fake. The electricity rebate amounts to $50 a month. This is an insulting amount for those facing bills of $700 or more. So today, we're calling on the government to extend the ban on utility disconnection over the spring and summer until the disconnection ban comes back into effect on October 15th. This will effectively give Albertans another year, knowing their utilities can't be disconnected as they try to catch up on their bills. I want to be clear, I'm not proposing this in exchange for real monetary support. We still believe that this government owes Albertans a real rebate for natural gas and either a more substantial rebate for electricity or restoration of the utility cap. Today, we've drafted legislation for the Minister of Energy and Associate Minister of Electricity that could be introduced and passed in a day as a government bill, if they are willing. The legislature has done this before for vaccination leave. There's no reason why this can't be done quickly if the UCP cares about Albertans facing disconnection of their utilities. We have sent this bill to the government today, and I will be asking the Premier whether he supports it. Tomorrow, we will bring forward a motion to introduce this measure. Albertans have already been through so much over the past 2 years. Between the COVID-19 pandemic and now the rising cost of living, it would be heartless to disconnect Albertans just trying to get by and keep a roof over their heads. We can provide a solution, and now it's up to the UCP government to act on that solution. Not doing so would be a complete failure on their part, and yet another reason why they can't be trusted to support Albertans in this difficult time. I'll now turn it over to Sarah Hoffman.
Thanks so much, Kathleen. I want to start by saying the education budget and the UCP's failure to build much-needed public and francophone schools is another very stark example of why Albertans can't trust the UCP. If they were truly committed to parental choice, then the UCP government would not be sabotaging public education right here in Alberta. The UCP is deliberately withholding funding from one of the largest and fastest-growing school divisions in the country. Edmonton and Calgary public students desperately need schools, and they need modernizations. The UCP has ignored Edmonton Public's needs for 2 years in a row and only approved one school for each of Calgary's public and Catholic districts. That's only one school for each of those districts in 3 years. Instead, the UCP's no-help budget does nothing to address the needs of Edmonton Public and doesn't put a dollar into any francophone school construction anywhere. This follows the UCP's decision last year to underspend $600 million in the education budget. And now their new no-help budget for education won't keep pace with the inflation that we're seeing or increases in student population growth. To make matters worse, the UCP's no-help budget shows that there are almost 1,000 fewer teachers in Alberta since when Rachel Notley was Premier. So let's be clear, the UCP is refusing to put enough teachers into schools that we already have. They're refusing to modernize or build public schools in growing communities. This is sabotage. Alberta families want a properly funded public education system with a modern curriculum and no barriers to learning. and an NDP government will build schools and put teachers in classrooms to make it happen. Thanks very much. We're happy to take your questions.
Start with questions on the floor. And we'll go to questions on the phone. Just a reminder to press *9 if you're joining us on the phone and to use the raise hand function if you're joining us via Zoom. And seeing none, that's all for today. Thank you.
Thanks.
Tens of thousands of Albertans have already provided their idea for how we can build Alberta's future. You can too by going to albertasfuture.ca.